Good evening, friends. Settle by the fire, where the flames toss memories of games well played. Hear the soft crackle like a baseball thumping into a glove, echoing the past. Tonight, I'll share Frank's story, a man who found a ball, not just leather and stitches, but a pitch of his youth, his family, and lessons he nearly left on the field. Frank was 64. He returned to his hometown in Michigan to clear out his father's house after his passing. The house stood by a gravel road, old, with a sagging garage and a lawn patched with dandelions. Inside, it smelled of motor oil, fresh-cut grass, and his childhood, a scent he hadn't caught in years. Frank hadn't been here in 30 years. He walked through rooms heavy with the past. The kitchen where his father fried bacon, the den with a worn recliner. In the garage, on a cluttered shelf, he found a baseball, scuffed, with faded red stitches, one he and his father tossed in the yard as a kid. Frank rolled it in his hand, and the faint thud of leather took him back to the 70s. This ball was their bond, a symbol of evenings when his father taught him to keep swinging. In the 70s, when Frank was 12, he and his father played catch every weekend. His father, a factory worker with calloused hands and a quick grin, always smelled of sweat. In the yard, they tossed the ball, and his father shared advice. Life's a tough pitch, Frank. Keep your eye on the ball. He coached the neighborhood kids' team, fixed their gloves, saying, "Play hard, share the game." Frank loved those evenings, dreaming of being a shortstop. But one day, he nearly turned from his father's lessons. In the summer of 1976, caught up with new friends, he skipped their catch. "I'm too old for this," he grumbled and biked off. His father didn't argue, but his grin dimmed. Later he said, "The game's always there, Frank, when you're ready." Frank shrugged, a pang in his chest. That moment stuck. Frank spent less time with his father, chasing friends and dreams of a bigger life. He moved to Detroit, became an engineer, built a career. Evenings tossing the ball faded. His father sent letters, scribbled with scores. "Frank, caught a game. Got a pitch for you?" Frank replied briefly, swamped with work. When his mother died 20 years ago, he came to the funeral but left fast. His father passed last fall, and Frank missed his goodbye. A project deadline loomed. Now in the garage he felt a hollow weight. He'd lost not just his father, but his lessons about grit, teamwork, and the home he left for ambition. By the fire, Frank held the ball. Its leather was worn, but it fit his palm like always. He tossed it lightly, and the thud brought back those evenings. Frank was 12 again. He saw his father, his sweat-stained cap, their laughter as the ball soared. But behind that was his regret. He'd benched his father while chasing dreams. On the shelf, he found a cigar box. Inside were his childhood scorecards, his father's letters, and a note written before his death. "Frank, you were my best catch," he wrote. "The ball's still in play. Keep swinging." Beside it was a photo. Frank and his father in the yard with the ball. Frank grinned, his eyes misty. He realized his father always waited, even when he drifted, and his lesson still called him to the plate. Frank didn't sell the house. He fixed the garage, set the ball on a shelf, and every Saturday tossed it with local kids, remembering his father. He started coaching their team, fixing their gear, like his father did. Frank wrote a letter to his father full of words he hadn't said. "You taught me to play." It went into the box beside the photo. His promise. Life's a long game, but we can always step up to bat. What pitch will you swing at today? Thank you for joining us by the fire. Subscribe for more stories that hit home.